Hey there everybody, how's it going? My CP Zone here. My screen recorder is in the way. You're also greeted with a really weird screen. Allow me to explain. This was the Club Penguin Improvement Project. What is that? Well, it's otherwise known as CPIP for short, but what is it? The Club Penguin Improvement Project was basically a beta testing phase in 2008. You'd get on a private test server that Club Penguin would open up, and you could also play with the moderators. However, you also got to test out bugs and new features that would be implemented in the game that are still used today. So, I did find some SWF files of when you were greeted with the Club Penguin Improvement Project screen. So, basically what the Club Penguin Improvement Project was, as I earlier explained, was testing stuff. And some of the implements still stayed, and I'll show you the wiki article here in a minute. But let's look and see what we're greeted with during the actual times during these phases. Now, as you can see, this I'm moving my cursor around as the camera follows. But let's click the iScan 3000. Receive a access granted, and you can see that the Club Penguin Improvement Project will be coming soon, as in never, because it's already closed. You can't come back to it. It was only back in 08. So let's take a look at this one. As you can see, there's a little bit of white in the way, but I can understand why. It's an SWF file, don't worry about it too bad. So we'll click the iScan 3000 again, and we'll wait as it loads, and access is granted, and we can see the CPIP log. We can read what's going on, we can report bugs. I want to see what's on the CPIP blog. I want to see if that's still up, so we're going to find out in this video if the CPIP blog is still up. And of course, as reading my URL, it does not exist on the Club Penguin page. So we'll head back there. Now let's take a look at that screen again. Access granted. Now we can see we can report bugs, we can do server tests. However, don't click any of these no longer work. As you can see, I just clicked read and that's no longer there. So let's go to the next one. This is late in the CPIP testing phase. As you can see, the CPIP blog, it says this server test is now over. Thanks for all your help squashing bugs. Now we can see the new website change, which is one of the test features, which is not what's sent today. It was back in 08, 09, where we saw it. Now we have new features. We can read more about some of the new features that are coming. However, we can't read that due to it doesn't exist anymore. We can still report bugs. Now here's the final one. There's a note on the door, and the camera is disabled. It says, the Club Penguin Improvement Project is closed for now. Thank you for your help. Until then, waddle on. And if we click the iScan 3000, our access is denied. Of course, our access is denied. Now this leads me to another question. Will CPIP, or Club Penguin Improvement Project, come back? What do you guys think? Let's look through some of the articles. We can see some of the test programs. You can see the test programs. We got the beta era of Club Penguin, stuff like that. Now let's scroll up. As you can see, we have the SWF files. We can see what was happening here. We have server testing of 2011. Now we can have some references to the CPIP blog, and we can actually go to the CPIP blog archive. So let's take a look at that. I want to see if this. You're now leaving the club. Yeah, I'll skip this ad. Let me skip the ad. Yeah, we're on the Wayback Machine now. If you don't know what the Wayback Machine is, basically you can type in any media source on the internet and look back at what it was and how it's changed over the years. Now we can look at I want to see what this is, the special CPIP event. Now this is on their blog. Now let's see, as many of you know, April Fool's is coming up, and in fact our April Fool's party starts today in Club Penguin. I wanted to let you know about a special April Fool's surprise we'll be launching only on the server test today. I won't ruin the surprise by telling you what it is now, but I will tell you We've never done anything like this in Club Penguin before. Here's a hint. When you log in, you'll see Club Penguin through different eyes. This special CPIP April Fool's Party event will only be around today. If you want to check it out, here's what you need to know. We're only on server test Friday. Yeah. He's obviously referring to when you logged onto the test server and you actually got to be a green puffle. That was the April Fool's surprise. You guys were green puffles on the test servers. So we can look at this. These are all pretty much looking at the test servers. I'll leave a link in the description to the web archive where you can actually take better looks at some of what had happened in Club Penguin. Now let's go back to the wiki and we'll end off here on this video so you guys can take a look at some of the CPIP archives. I thought this was a cool subject to talk about, being that Club Penguin doesn't really do much testing anymore. They don't let their players do much testing since they took down their beta games and stuff and designs. So we can look and see what was going on. We can actually see some of the beta testing going on at the party. We can see the April Fool stuff. I like these pictures. I actually think that's rather hilarious on some of this stuff. So you can go down the boiler room. Look, these are the testers. This is at the April Fool's thing. You can actually see the green puffles hopping around. Now we can see some of these pictures. But anywho, I'm going to end off on this for right now. Would you want the CPIP or Club Penguin Improvement Project to come back? Because as you can see right here, it's closed for now. Implementing it could come back at any time. So would you guys want it to come back, or do you want to stay in oblivion? Would you want it to actually return and improve different things on Club Penguin? Now, with that in mind, what suggestions would you make to improve Club Penguin through the Club Penguin Improvement Project? This is my CPU Zone, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.